Hey guys, how are you? Today we are visiting the Birya Forest in an incredible place with so much to do, so much history, so much culture, so much fun, and I'm excited that you're here. We're ready to go. Welcome to the Birya Forest, the largest man-made forest in Israel. In the 1950s, the Keren Kayemet Israel, the Federation in Israel, planted 5 million trees over here to populate the beautiful northern area of Israel. And there are over 80 acres of land and around 25 kilometers of paved roads for hiking and biking, with this gorgeous outlook that we have over here to the entire region over here in the north. We see behind me the Hermon mountain, which still is snowy on top, and right below that there's the Jordan Valley, and further out to the east there's the Golan Heights, and further to the west we see the Meron mountain range, and right below it there is this spectacular forest. So here we go. We're going down into the forest and we're excited to journey this together. So we're starting off our journey over here on the top of the Birya Forest with a citadel called the Mitsuda. And the citadel, the truth is not that old. There's a beautiful outlook that is able to look out into what is going on in the forest, if there's any fires, and forest rangers are able to tell what's going on. We see the power of the brave youth, that they're the ones that in the 1940s, they decided to settle over here, part of the Palmach and the Bnei Akiva movement. They were removed multiple times by the British until finally, through a lot of persistence, they decided to stay, and they made it their residence, and they lived in the structure of the fortress behind me. This place is a gorgeous place for picnics and for coming with families. It's something that we do with our families and with friends. We're in the ancient city of Navia, which was settled over here by the tribe of Naphtali, and there's an area over here which has been settled for thousands of years. This synagogue was built in the 5th century after the destruction of the temple, where many of the sages left Jerusalem and they came up north. And there were many sages that lived over here in this area, and in the community that was around, they were an agricultural community that produced oil, produced wine, produced all types of grapes, and they were able to become self-sustained and to live an ascetic spiritual life. This synagogue is actually mentioned by none other than the Ramak, one of the greatest Kabbalists of all times, in his book called Sefer HaGirushin, the Book of Divorce. And why is it called the Book of Divorce? Because it stipulates that the way that we could come close to the Creator is by becoming more removed from the physicality. And so many of the greats came out over here into nature, specifically into this synagogue, where they felt that the Shekhinah, that the divine presence resides. And the Arizal and the Ramak and some of the great Kabbalists spent many hours over here in meditation and in learning and connecting and wanting to yearn for the divine presence going back to the land of Israel. They found the lintel, the main doorway for this ancient synagogue, and it says on it who the donors were and from which year it came from. It is currently held in the Israel Museum for posterity. So this whole area over here were storage houses where they kept their wheat, their oil, their wine, etc. But down below they actually found a secret tunnel which was used by the Jews in the event that they would have to run away from the Romans, because this was a very sought after community that was spiritually engaging in an active desire to come back to Jerusalem. In the vicinity of the community, or within the community, there is a flowing source of water, which is this Navia wellspring. That is, although it doesn't look so clean, it is actually clean water which was used for agricultural usage and for personal usage, as well as now there are plenty of frogs and salamanders that right by dawn they chirp, and it is super loud and could be heard in the vicinity around us. As we drive down the Birya Forest, we reach the deepest part of the forest called Amuka. It is the actual valley, and it is the lowest point of the forest. And in this very place is where Rabbi Yonatan Ben Uziel lived. He was an unbelievable force, and so people go down this forest in a almost spiritual pilgrimage to be able to find their soulmate, finding of the interconnection that always exists, and being which are forms of soulmates. And as we get ready to go down to the actual place of Amuka, Rabbi Yonatan Ben Uziel. We've reached Yonatan Ben Uziel. Here we are, let's go. Here we are by Rabbi Yonatan Ben Uziel, who's buried in Amuka, this very deep place that is supposed to elicit within us this deep desire to ascend upwards. And Rabbi Yonatan Ben Uziel was the greatest student of Hillel, the elder. Hillel the elder had 70 students. The greatest one of them was Rabbi Yonatan Ben Uziel, and the lowest one was Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, who was the leader of the Jewish people after the destruction of the Second Temple. And Rabbi Yonatan Ben Uziel, it says about him that he was so great that there was this holiness, an aura of holiness that pervaded above his head, and even a bird that would fly over his head would become consumed by the immense fire that was there. And people come over here from all over the world to pray for their soulmate. And the question is, why do they come here to pray for their soulmate? And the answer is Rabbi Yonatan Ben Uziel was not married. He was actually a bachelor. He was single. And imagine trying to marry someone as like him. He was so holy, everything around him became consumed. You know, who could come close to him, including his wife? So he was single all of his days. And at the end of his days, he felt like, you know, there's the whole point of everything is really to come together with your opposite half and to have children. And he was unable to do that. So therefore, he promised anyone that would come to his gravesite and would pray over here, they would be prayed for by him in heaven for them to find their soulmate.
You know, I was thinking, like, what's different about being here? What is it that's going to make it all of a sudden I'm here and then it's going to happen? Like, why? What's the difference? You know, I've been asking and asking. I'd been on my own at that point for like 4 years. Like asking Hashem, you know, send me my other half, send me, like, you know, help me like be whole, be complete, have this companionship that's missing in my life. And of course, you know, with 4 kids, it's not simple to like really find the right fit and find the person that's gonna see my kids as like a bonus and a blessing to what I bring to the relationship. And so I came and went in, and I'm standing there like, okay, well, hi. You know, like, again, how is this different from when I'm standing in my living room or I'm in shul or I'm anywhere else? And I really thought about, you know, what Yonatan Ben Uziel had talked about the visualizations and just how I needed to look at it. That's what could change here, is that I could take the time to really have a fresh perspective. And so I thought for a moment about my kids, right? They come, they ask me for things. And, you know, when you have multiple kids and they're always asking for something, right? And sometimes you're like, yeah, in 5 minutes, yeah, you know, I'll get it to you soon. So I thought for a moment of Hashem like that, right? This loving, caring parent wants to give us everything in the world, right? And we just need to come and ask. But sometimes we come and ask and he's like, yeah, in 5 minutes, right? And then I thought,
it's not a no.
Right, it's not a no, but it's like we need to push a little more. And then I thought, like, okay, if my kids wanted something from me, what would they need to do to push through? Like, let's say, I don't know, they want a cup of juice, right? And they're coming and bugging me, Ima, I want a cup of juice, I want a cup of juice, I want a cup of juice. Well, what's gonna, like, prompt me? Maybe if they actually go get a cup from the drawer and bring it to me and say, just fill it up, right? So that's how I pictured myself here when I came, is like, I'm standing here, I have my cup, I have my kli. I've done the work. Honestly, I went through years of therapy after my divorce, and like, I was so ready, and I was like, I have the cup, Hashem, just fill it up. And 3 weeks later, I got introduced to this guy.
Woo! Ta-da! That's crazy. That is crazy. That is
wow.
I came here a few years before that on a trip, on like just like a trip with a bunch of dudes from Jerusalem, and I guess Hashem was like, you need to wait 5 minutes, or for me, and for it to be ready.
It's 5 years,
a few years later, and here we are, you know.
And, it's been, what, 7.5 years now?
Yeah.
Since we got married. We have 3 more kids added to the bunch.
There's one right here, so we have 7 kids total, 2 adults already.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd have adult kids so fast.
Yeah, we threw him right into the deep end. Sink or swim, and he swam.
And still swimming.
He's a trooper, literally.
Yeah, totally.
Do I believe in the power of tzaddikim? I do, a little bit. I still have no comprehension of what it even means spiritually, but I believe that there's something here for sure. You know, I feel it. And
you're a case in point, like a living testimony of that. Right, that's unbelievable.
I still don't really go out to many covers, but you know, I think
When
really a lot of it is the mindset,
Yeah.
and so that can be different things for different people. You know, it could be a retreat, it could be at shul, it could be, you know, locking yourself in your closet away from the noise of the day. You know, it could,
you do so many great things of, you know, helping people, helping the community, and helping just individuals that just need assistance, and that's basically what the tzaddik really embodies, you know, that notion of the selflessness, which is really what we're getting inspired to do. So it doesn't mean we need to be in that place all day long by tzaddikim. It's like you get it, but then now you actually live it, now you actually embody what it means and do it. So you're doing it.
you have to come to Hashem with your empty cup. It's like, fill this up, Ima, fill this up, Tati, fill this up. You know?
I had the story here myself, that I remember that I was ready to like get married at a certain age, and it was like I was 24. I was like, I think like I'm ready, and I realized like when I was there, very similar to the feeling that you had, I was like, okay, God, like I'm ready, like here it is, here's my vessel, I did everything that I think that I could do, and now I'm just, you know, just bring it on. So yeah, very much like you believe in the results that will happen, but you have to be ready. Yeah. And you can't just like be not ready and then say that there's going to be results, because you're not really truly relying or trusting. You're not like all the way down and out, which is what Amuka is. It's like down, it's like Amuk. It's like you're down and out. You're in the like the lowest, basically. But you're in the lowest, but you're in the highest, because in that point, you're just an empty vessel, and you're ready to receive from the highest abode.
You gotta go down to go up.
Yeah. Rabbi Yonatan Ben Uziel has a commentary on the Torah, which is a very profound commentary. Now, when he came out with a commentary on the prophets, it says that the entire land shook 400 parsa, a measurement, and there was a heavenly voice that said, do you want to reveal all the secrets of when Mashiach will come and when redemption will happen? And therefore, they did not allow for this commentary from up in heaven to become revealed again because of its great, deep, mystical importance, which the world was not yet ready for. At the end of this incredible day at the Birya Forest, we came up to the Gan Eden restaurant right at the top of the forest, which offers very generous breakfast, lunches, and really delicious desserts. A great place to just come before you go to the Birya Forest or after to just relax, and this is what we're doing right now. I hope you had a great time together with us. I look forward to inviting you next time as we explore Israel on all levels, spiritually, physically, historically, and most importantly, having a great time together.